I just wanted to share a quick story about how meditation saved my life. So I used to be a pretty fundamentalist Christian, and in seminary, I developed an anxiety disorder that would lead to panic attacks. Now, the church had given me no framework to understand what was happening. I went to a therapist who told me to try distracting myself. I went to a cardiologist who told me, and I'm not joking, to memorize more Bible verses. Yes, he was a real doctor. I tried to lean harder into my beliefs, to think my way out of it, but nothing worked. And eventually, after a lot of this, I started to get depressed, and things got worse. And eventually, when I got desperate enough, I started to research positive psychology. And I started to exercise and get enough sleep and eat different and all those things. But the one thing that kept coming up that I was resistant to was meditation, because that was just Eastern heresy. But eventually, again, I got desperate enough to try it. And from the first 5-minute session, it literally changed everything. I started to see my anxiety from a distance rather than standing right in the middle of it. It was like the difference between standing in the rain and standing in a house watching the rain. And I started to get in touch with this part of myself that just observed, that got curious. And when I was in touch with it, both during meditation and afterwards, I started to notice that I would act with more love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and self-control. And eventually I thought, oh my God, is this what I've been studying about all these years? Is this what people talk about when they talk about God or about the Holy Spirit? I started to feel like I had spent my whole life studying maps of the Amazon. And for the first time, I was jumping in, like God was something to be experienced and not believed in. And my faith up to that point had been driven by secondhand belief, listening to other people's understanding of other people's experiences. And this eventually just reformatted the way that I engaged Christianity. Eventually, the word God started to feel impossibly small, and I had to let go of it. It led me deeper into Buddhism and Hinduism, and over the years, meditation has turned me into an entirely different person. And it showed me that nobody should settle for secondhand belief.